It always comes to this. More nice shit. Morning, guys. Back again to do another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I'd probably showed off session with Rick. I've been working with Rick more often than Terry lately. It's just kind of the way it's worked out. It's not like not wanting to work with Terry or I don't have things to do with him, but we've been busy, and sometimes Terry and I's appointment will get shuffled around, and in favor of other projects, I'll take myself out and put someone else in or whatever. I'm kind of the bonus round for him every week here. I do have a session coming up with Terry this week. We've got a big one coming. I think it's going to be one that there's a lot to say about, but I'll get into that after. I think, what did I do with Rick last time? Good Lord. We did in here, I think, and it healed really, really well. So there's no more left to peel on that, and it's basically up to the same level as that. So this is starting to look really, really cohesive and kind of all one piece now. You'll see now, I had another session with Rick. We got in and did this stuff in here. There was a few gaps. There was some red we did in here. There's some more tentacle that we did all throughout here. Kind of goes all the way down. There's still a little bit more to do there. We did the red again in places, and then there's still some red to do on the outside. But I think we did a decent amount, and Rick didn't really want to overdo it, I guess. I think we could have done it for sure, but I'm not going to complain about what we got done here. I'll explain a little bit more about this. So I had mentioned that there was going to be some little black silhouettes or outlines of tentacles in throughout the red velvet. And so what's happened here is we've done a second pass of red velvet, so that'll obviously heal out quite a bit different. And then we were going to do just black when we last talked about this, but Rick decided he wanted to try to mix some of the red velvet with black so that it's still red, but it's got that darker look. It's kind of like the darkest red you're going to get, sort of thing, to make it still look like it's in the red velvet, not on the red velvet. And in order to do that, you want it to still kind of look reddish. So that's going to be the plan with all the red velvet sections. This is most likely going to mostly be red velvet, but I haven't really talked to Rick too much about what's going in here yet, but we'll figure that out here soon. I may even talk to him about that next week, because we're at a place now where everything is pretty well done the first time. Some places have been done more than once. Now it's about getting it up to this level everywhere and even better. So this shit we haven't worked on in about 15 sessions, maybe longer. I think it's probably since October, November that we've been up the top, and none of that has really changed, because like once you get it to that base level, I feel like I spend nothing but time explaining this to people these days, that they think, oh, well, it fades back, it needs touch. It's like, no. What needs to happen is you need to saturate it. So once it is saturated, it's like any other tattoo. I've become a complete broken record with this, because being one of the only people showing healed work over black, and if you have work over black, please fucking show it off, because it would do me the world of good to have some more fucking allies in this game. But I spend so much time re-explaining this, that the problem is not that you need touch-ups, and we're not talking about touch-ups when we're talking about second and third passes. Those are institutional. Those are necessary lifting. Those are not bonuses. Those are part of the tattoo. If you want to do these tattoos, they take more than one pass. So those are not touch-ups. I want to get that out of the way right now. This idea is bad for the whole thing. It needs to be explicitly said that if you're going to do this stuff, it takes 2 to 3 passes depending on what you want. That's just the reality of it. Those aren't touch-ups. Those are, if you're going to do it once, you have to do it 2 or 3 times, depending on what you're looking for. Those are just facts. So those aren't touch-ups, but once you do that, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do any more touch-ups down the road more than you would any other tattoo. Okay, this has been, what, it's been a year and a half now since we've done these, something like that. They look day one. I don't need to edit this. I'm not standing here editing my fucking videos. There's nothing like that happening because I've had people assert that. I barely have time to make these, much less fuck around with video editing like that. For the longest time, I didn't even put captions or pictures in these vlogs. So if you're thinking that way still, you're wrong and it's time to stop. Now, where the fuck was I before I got into that? I want to get this whole sleeve up to this level and even better because we're going to hit this again yet. This is all second pass up here. So when we come back up here, now that it's been quite a while, the color is going to be really, really reactive. As I've shown before, when you leave color to settle in, you come back and hit it again and it pops more. It's going to be much the same thing when Rick and I are finished this sleeve. We're going to be heading back to my chest piece and working on that guy some more. And I think it's going to be, very, very beneficial to do so. This, I'm not sure how this is going to settle out. I have an idea of what that's going to look like because obviously this red velvet doesn't stay this red. It goes more like this tone long term. So I think that the red velvet mixing with the black, it's going to maintain a level of darkness that's pretty substantial in there. I think the black is going to really pop the red out. So it does the effect of giving more depth and dimension in there. So basically mission accomplished there. I wanted to touch on a couple different things that I've had asked. People have asked me how my vampire fangs are doing. Now it's been over a year. So I still have them. I'm due for a cleaning soon. I mean, I'll be back in the dentist soon, but I haven't had any problems with my vampire teeth at all. They've been zero issue to live with. I do want to remake them at one point. These ones, they were bonded with a bit more of a yellowy color to them. Not the biggest fan of that. My normal teeth are way brighter. That was how the fangs were made for whatever reason. I think he was trying to match the tone of my teeth, but he went too yellow. My teeth were never that yellow, so that's my only complaint. But I've had no problem living with them otherwise, and I like the size of them. I always wanted them to be like almost like Count Chocula, wacky, over-the-top vampire teeth. I didn't want these cutesy, dainty little pointy fangs that you see a lot of, like, for example, no shade, but like a lot of pretty girls on Instagram, stuff like that, they'll get themselves little vampire teeth, and they're just these little tiny points. I wanted fucking chompers, son. I wanted them to be, fucking wacky and cartoony and unrealistic, and, for most people would probably be hard to live with. But because I've had so much going on inside my mouth, I used to have 3 upper lip piercings and 7 lower lip piercings. My labret used to be twice the size, so did my philtrum. I've got a split tongue already, so these things, they don't really bother me, but they might be of a concern to someone. But I found that the teeth took no time to get used to and have caused me no drawbacks. And I had so many people say that their vampire teeth didn't last or they broke or something. Mine are like, I haven't had any issues. I haven't even noticed them. The only thing I had to get used to is I had a stronger bite force than I used to have. As strange as that sounds, you have to get used to the fact that it's almost like you have molars at the front of your mouth. So you got a pretty strong bite. Another one that I've seen asserted is that I've taken on a kind of god complex along the way. I guess you could say that in a way. I mean, it's not in any negative context, though. I mean, realistically, when it comes to tattoos, what I've realized is it's not about is this doable? It is doable. Do I want to do it? Do I want to dedicate to that? Do I want to focus on that? At this point, I figured out that if I want my neck to go from red to blue, I can fucking do that. I don't know if that's a god complex so much as it is observing results. Everything that we were told was wrong, so then my natural inclination is that everything else we've been told is also wrong, and the people who said it are just wrong in general, and they should not be listened to. The minute you realize, when you start pulling on that thread, you start realizing that pretty much everything that we've been told is nonsense and bullshit from halfwits or people who really have no business speaking on matters they have no idea about. Then it invalidates everything else they say as well. So basically, I've learned that the sky is green as far as tattoos are concerned. It was never blue, and it won't be blue again unless, I decide to make it blue. You can call that a god complex if you'd like, but all it's been for me is learning and observing results. That's it. So now I realize that this shit shouldn't be possible. This shouldn't be doable, let alone healing nice and staying well. None of this should be possible by conventional logic. None of it. But it is. And I guarantee you, if I do nothing to this in a year, it will still be there. I also guarantee you that someone will ask to see it in 10 years. Well, a person like that's never going to do anything to go against the grain in life if they're worried about the notion that whatever they do might not be here in 10 years. Jesus Christ, son, you could be killed tomorrow. This whole world could be over. Everything could end tomorrow. You're worried about 10 years from now. Everything looks worse in 10 years. Everything looks worse in 20 years. Every single thing in life looks worse with time. That's not exclusive to tattoos. And if you want to get into tattoos, I wouldn't recommend it if you're worried about what things are going to look like down the road, because I guarantee you're going to look worse down the road. If you like art and you're wanting something that's going to be the same forever, I'd recommend buying a painting and putting it on the fucking wall. Don't put it on your body, because it's not going to stay the same, because our bodies don't stay the same. Everything about us changes with time. Some parts of us will warp in dimensions. We'll get fatter, we'll get thinner, we'll get wrinkly, our skin won't be as supple, pigments won't show through as well. All kinds of things can happen. But, if this hasn't changed in a year and a half, if this hasn't changed in nearly 3 years, well, I guess it's been more than 3 years. The only things that have changed is that I've made it better. If these things are facts, then it's not going to make much more difference to go another 6-7 years. It's not. Most of the change that happens is when the inks are mixing. Once things settle, they don't change much. That's not a god complex. That's observing reality. What's crazy to me is seeing these things and still keeping your fucking head in the sand and hoping that I'm wrong with time, because you'd rather not do the work to learn. That's what a lot of tattooers have revealed, a glaring inability or no desire to learn or be instructed that they've been wrong. And they should be taking instruction from this project. If you're a tattooer out there and your first inclination when you see my work is to put your head back in the sand and deny reality, we're phasing you out. That's not going to be tenable forever, especially the longer humans live. And there's some chance that we don't end up dying anymore in some sense. If you're not going to be open to the task, we got AI tattoo machines coming. We got technology that's going to be doing this work. And there's going to be a lot of people that are put out of work in general. I'm not going to get into that whole thing, but there are going to be people and there are going to be ways to do this work without you. And thank God for that, because if I want to do something and the only thing keeping me from doing it is a guy who has his head and most of his torso up his ass, then I don't need that guy. He can fuck himself. He can get the fuck away from me. I don't want him. I don't need him. There's no room for him in my life. I will find someone willing. That's all it's been about. In the span of a few years here at the shop, I've seen anyone who's done this, anyone who's tried this has had success with it. The only people who haven't had success with this, in my opinion, in my estimation of what I've observed, are the people who haven't tried it. Anyone who has, it's worked. And that's not me being some genius. It's me being patient and, observing reality and and just kind of going with the process. You can't get this result overnight, and I've never said that. But if you're patient, anyone can do this. So, I was thinking about something the other day. I was thinking, like, can you imagine too, though, like the idea, like, I got my wife 20 years ago. I haven't touched her up once. She's still the same as she was. That relationship never changed. You can't fucking leave anything in the cold and do no work on it and expect it to be fine. If you leave your wife alone for 20 years and you haven't fucking checked in on her, you think she's gonna be the same? She's probably fucking someone else now. That relationship's probably falling apart because you're not doing any work on it. Why would you think it would be any different with anything else on your body, for example? Like, things aren't built to last by nature. Things break down. That's the way it is. Like, everything does. Anything human isn't built to last. We're not immortal. Maybe one day we will be, but we're not fucking built to be here forever without any care. That's not what life is. So, again, if you want to get into tattoos, just understand that they are part of your body, and your body will get worse over time. That's not specific to working over black. That's just specific to life. That is a life thing, not a tattoo thing, and certainly not a fucking white on black, black on black, color on black thing. Anyway, I needed to get that out of my system. I'm so tired of the impatience and kind of overall ignorance of this industry. And it seems like there is no length that I could go to that would do anything with that. I see still so many comments that are like, I've never seen one of these healed. Yes, you have, you fucking moron. I've been around a while. Most people who like tattoos have at least encountered me and have some kind of opinion on me by now. That's not me being, arrogant either. It's just understanding how long I've been around this space. On all social media, most people will see me now and they won't even make a connection that was blackout, which means I've done the job too fucking well. So, but you have seen healed work over black. You've seen cover-ups, and those are work over black. There's almost no cover-up that was ever done that wasn't covering black, because there's black in every fucking tattoo. So, anyway, unless you're doing watercolor. But, alright, so yeah, I've got a session coming up with Terry this week. It's going to piss a lot of people off, and I'll be yapping at you guys some more about that then. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.